Good morning, good afternoon and good evening, and welcome to old friends and new friends. This is the third session of the Soul Revelation Guidance. I'm doing this to hopefully help people along their spiritual journey, and also for those who have a pack of the Soul Revelation cards. I hope you are enjoying these videos. If you are, please share, like. Okay, first of all, I just wanted to touch on the last card of the previous session, session 2, the card which is simply entitled Love. Because there was one thing I thought would be quite important to mention. For those who have experienced love within their life, it is as natural as breathing. For those who have had a difficult life, who haven't experienced this, particularly when growing up, it can make life difficult because it can be, how can I put it, difficult to recognise when the real thing is in one's life. So love can actually feel very claustrophobic, and it can feel like it's a little bit of a struggle. For people who experience life like this, it is even more imperative to appreciate yourself, take a step back, and take life easy. Don't rush, and take it as it comes. And that way you'll find life is a lot easier. I find, particularly in relationships, if you're focusing on a relationship too much, it can actually destroy a relationship. So let love flow. Appreciate yourself and give yourself some TLC. Okay, right, moving on. The next card, Flow. It's a very simple card, this. As you can see on the card, there is a dam, and the water is flowing through the dam. The water flowing through the dam powers it. Now, if you closed the water off, eventually the pressure would build and the dam would crack. As you can see, there are cracks in the dam. If you let all the water through straight away, you might have horrendous amount of power, great, feel fantastic, and then the following day, there'll be no water to power the dam. So as the name says, flow. It's about doing things at a pace rather than all at once or not at all. On an emotional level, it's about allowing your emotions to be expressed. Because if you don't, then, like the dam, you will crack. If you go all out to try and do everything all at once, you will find that the following day you will feel emotionally drained. On a health level, it's about keeping that balance. It's about not trying to do everything at once. And it's also about not letting things build up so that you have no choice but to do everything at once. Keep with the flow. And that way you can maintain your energy levels and feel good about yourself. Okay, moving on. The next one, Worlds Within. This is a lovely card. I always think of it as a harmony card. As you can see, it's the world and it's all full of swirls. All the swirls symbolise that people, me, you, everyone, we all live in our own little bubble, our own little version of reality. And it's the acceptance that we all live in these little bubbles of reality, and that not everybody is experiencing the same or believes the same. But it's the acceptance that we are all unique and individual. And as such, even though at times we may not agree, it doesn't matter. Because fundamentally, we are all the same and all on our spiritual journey in life. Next. Union. As you can see, you've got the hands clasped together and the mountain in the background. Because truly in life, you're not meant to be on your own. We are meant to share our experiences. And through sharing our experiences, we create the bonds and the friendships that we will have throughout our lives. And it's these bonds and friendships which help us through the difficult times in life. And it is often the difficult times in life which forge the strongest bonds. It's a sign of people coming together to help each other. It's a sign of a partnership, a union. This particular card, intuition. The word may sound simple, but it's actually quite complicated. The original illustration that I did for this card, I did before I even thought about designing the cards themselves. As you can see, you've got the face. Where the third eye is, you've got the moon. The moon will always affect our emotions. You've heard of the word lunacy? That's where that comes from. In the past, doing studies, they found that in the mental asylums, that human behaviour became more erratic on a full moon. You will often find on a full moon that you either have a fantastic evening or it becomes a nightmare, emotionally overstrung evening. I often find the moon and emotion is linked with your psychic capabilities, which is why the moon has always been held in such significance. Now, if you look at the picture, there's lots of plants and nature. Because I find for your intuition to actually work at its best, we need to be attuned to our natural selves, attuned to nature. All animals have a natural sixth sense. Over time, as a human being, through life, the lives we lead, the craziness, the rat race, we sometimes lose touch with this. And going back to the moon, our emotion affects our thought process. If we are feeling down, then the whole world is black and everything seems to go wrong. If we are feeling happy, nothing matters. We are content and everything appears to go right. And even if things don't go right, we can laugh and we don't worry about it. I find that when using your intuition, the best time to use your intuition is when you are in a good place, in a calm place. Then you're not plagued by imaginings. Imaginings are thoughts we have that are inspired by the life that we're living at any one time and our anxieties and our fears. And if we let that dictate our intuition, all we will see is the negative in life. An example of how our intuition works. A lady is pregnant. Your girlfriend is pregnant. You look around the street, and all of a sudden, you notice every other young woman, every couple that you meet are all expecting. When you're not expecting a baby, and you're not wanting to have a baby, you don't notice the people who are pregnant, the young children and the prams. Your intuition works on a focus of your desires and your understanding. As a psychic, I always feel it's important to go through the healing process for yourself before working actively to try and help other people. Unfortunately, this does not always happen, and I've had many encounters where people have come for a reading and they've been told a lot of negative things about life. Now, in reality, you can't hold your punches. If something is black, you have to say it is black. But if the psychic can only see the black, it is them who needs to work on themselves. Because in reality, there is always going to be hope. So it's important we understand our intuition and how our thought process works within ourselves. Be positive and you will see positive things. Be negative and you will see the negative. Find the balance. Because in life, there are always going to be good things and there are always going to be bad things. That is the nature of the life we live. Okay? I know that's quite a lot to take in, but just ponder on what I've said. Some of this is actually not new knowledge, but simple psychological understanding. Okay. And for the final card of this session, we have the Fate card. And as you can see, there are many paths on this card, and they all lead to the same place. People will sometimes get confused between fate and destiny. Whilst technically both words mean the same thing, the feel to them is very different. Destiny is the unavoidable. Destiny, if you want for simple terms, is you are born and you are going to die at some point in your life. Them are two inevitable fixed points. Now, fate, whilst it represents things that are unavoidable in life, fate is also dictated by ourselves, dictated by our own karma, dictated by our own actions. A marriage may be fated to be broken, for it to end. And the reason why it's fated to end is because a partner has been unfaithful. And it's the actions which have inevitably dictated the conclusion. We are masters of our own fate, our own actions. bring about the inevitable in our life. When I see this particular card, I know that events have happened in a person's life which they may feel as if things would be different if they'd changed something. The reality is, it wouldn't. To some extent, our fate is not only dictated by ourselves, but by our reactions to those around us, which in itself is a bit of a paradox, because we are responsible in how we react to others. So whilst we have fate in our hands, when fate happens, it is a sign that we are exactly where we are meant to be in life. If anything, we should be reflecting upon what we have achieved in our lives to take us to this point, because this point is inevitable. Okay. Now, for those of you who use cards, you may find similarities between these particular cards and angel cards and oracle cards. So I will say to you, if you currently use angel cards, these cards themselves will be very, very easy for you to use. Each illustration is tied in with the word. They are hand illustrated and channeled by myself. And if you do find that they inspire something different when doing a reading, or when you're just looking at the image or the word themselves, always trust your intuition, because there is truly no right and wrong, only what we perceive. Well, thank you for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed this third session of the Soul Revelation Guidance. And for now, I will say goodbye